You scroll past a photo of an old friend. They are on a beach. You are on your couch. And suddenly, you feel a tiny, sharp sting. It is not sadness. It is not anger. It is something older, something that has been inside you for 200,000 years. You tell yourself it is just social media, that you are happy for them. But your brain is not listening. Your brain is doing something else entirely. It is taking notes. It is updating a scoreboard you cannot see. And it is doing it for one reason: to keep you alive. But the real answer is far stranger. Your brain is not just being petty. It is running a survival program that was written long before Instagram, long before money, long before language itself. A program designed to answer a single question: where do I stand? Because for your ancient ancestors, standing was everything. If you were too low, you were last to eat. If you were too high, you were a target. If you were cast out, you were dead. So your brain evolved a status radar, a silent, always-on detection system that scans every human interaction and instantly calculates your relative worth. And it never sleeps. It never takes a day off. And it never stops comparing you to everyone around you. Now you're sitting in a coffee shop. A stranger walks in wearing a better coat. Your brain barely registers the coat, but it does register a little drop, a tiny chemical shift. Cortisol rises, serotonin dips. You do not notice it consciously, but you suddenly feel just a little heavier, a little smaller. That is your status radar. It is not rational. It is not fair. It is ancient. And it is the reason you feel envy. Dr. Robert Sapolsky, a neuroscientist at Stanford, spent decades studying baboons in Kenya. He found that their social rank directly determined their stress levels, their health, and even how long they lived. Baboons at the bottom of the hierarchy had chronically high cortisol, suppressed immune systems, and early death. Not because they were weak, but because their brains were constantly screaming one silent message: you are losing. And the human brain works the same way. When you perceive yourself as lower status, your brain prepares for the worst. It floods your body with stress hormones. It narrows your vision. It makes you anxious. It makes you envious. Because in the ancient world, losing status meant losing access to food, shelter, and mates. It meant death. So your brain learned to treat social pain exactly like physical pain. Dr. Naomi Eisenberger at UCLA proved this in a landmark brain imaging study. Participants were excluded from a simple virtual ball-tossing game. Their brains lit up the same way they would if they had been physically injured. The dorsal anterior cingulate cortex, the same region that processes physical agony, fired when they were socially rejected. Your brain cannot tell the difference between a broken bone and a broken reputation. So when you see that vacation photo, your brain reacts as if you have been physically shoved down the hierarchy. Ouch. But the ancient world was small. Your tribe was maybe 150 people. You knew everyone. You knew exactly where you stood. You could see the top, you could see the bottom, and you could change your rank by being a better hunter, a better gatherer, a better friend. Today, your tribe is billions. Your phone shows you the best moments of millions of strangers every single day. Your radar cannot handle it. It was designed to compare you to a few dozen faces around a campfire. Now it is forced to compare you to the most beautiful, richest, most successful humans on the planet, curated and optimized around the clock. No wonder you feel exhausted. No wonder you feel like you are losing. Your radar is screaming at a volume it was never meant to reach. Dr. Susan Fiske, a psychologist at Princeton, demonstrated that when people view others they perceive as higher status, the brain's medial prefrontal cortex activates in a way that marks them as above you. It is automatic. It happens in milliseconds. Even if you consciously admire them, your radar records a gap, a deficit, a threat. And the more you scroll, the more gaps you record. The more threats you log. The more your radar tells you to worry, to withdraw, to attack. Envy was never a sin. It was a survival tool. It was the fire that made you work harder, climb higher, and protect your place in the tribe. But now that fire is burning everything down. Because the modern world did not give you a bigger campfire. It gave you a stadium full of strangers, all holding up scorecards you never asked for. Likes, followers, job titles, car models, vacation destinations. Your ancient brain interprets all of it as social rank. It treats every single notification as a tribal signal. If you get a like, your brain releases a tiny squirt of dopamine. You have been seen. You have been approved. You are safe. If you do not, your brain releases cortisol. You have been ignored. You are invisible. You are in danger. This is not a metaphor. The dopamine pathways that light up when you get a social reward are the same ones that light up when a monkey finds a ripe banana or when a chimpanzee rises in rank. They are the ancient currency of survival, but the problem is the reward never lasts. The radar always resets. It always asks for more. Because in the ancient world, status was never permanent. You could always be challenged. You could always slip. So your brain refuses to let you feel satisfied. It keeps you hungry. It keeps you comparing. Because a satisfied ancestor was a dead ancestor. So what do? You cannot turn off the radar. It is part of your brain's hardware. You cannot delete social media. It is the modern campfire. But you can understand what is happening. And understanding is the first step to freedom. The next time you feel that familiar sting, that sudden drop when you see someone else's highlight reel, pause. Name it. That is my ancient status radar. It is doing its job. But it is reading a world that no longer exists. It is comparing your entire life to a single filtered moment. It is forgetting that you are not in a baboon troop. You are a human being with a complex, meaningful life that cannot be ranked on a single scoreboard. Remember that your radar is a liar. It tells you that you are not enough because it is designed to never let you feel enough. It needs you to keep climbing. But you are not on a cliff. You are not in a fight for survival. You are just sitting on a couch, holding a glowing rectangle, and your brain is running a 200,000-year-old program that no longer applies. The real win is not to beat everyone else on the scoreboard. The real win is to see the scoreboard for what it is, an ancient relic, a ghost in the machine. And then, slowly, gently, to stop playing a game you were never meant to win.